Yeah. Thirty having arrived, I officially call the meeting to order. As the meeting has been properly posted and roll been taken.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Item number 2 is the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, item number 3, our approval of minutes, 3.1. For approval of the minutes from August 19th, the minutes of the special meetings on both August 7th and August 25th. If there's no additions or corrections, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I move to approve the minutes of August 19th and the minutes of our special meetings on August 7th and August 25th, 2025.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item number 4, communications, comments regarding the PIP for Delavan Resort Golf Course. We can also, that's listed on number 4, but I think the Jess will just move on to item number 5, which is public comments, and citizens may address the chair at this point in the meeting. Please limit your comments to items that are on this evening's agenda for roughly like 3 minutes. Is there anyone that wishes to speak on their public comments on items that are on tonight's agenda? And so I would just ask you to come to the podium. State your name, address for the record. Yes, Kevin?
Good evening. At this evening's comment, my name is Kevin Armstrong and I'm a member of the Delavan Plan Commission. At this evening's common council meeting, you'll be asked to act, in item 7.1 on a step 4 precise implementation plan for a new golf course concept and layout at Lakeland. The Plan Commission at its September 2nd, 2025 meeting voted to recommend approval by the council in an overwhelming affirmative but not unanimous vote. I forwarded a memo to the council discussing 2 findings related to that matter today. I want to summarize a few points from that memo. The material in your packet explains the changes to the golf course, which include development of a new 9-hole traditional course, a new 9-hole par 3 course, and a new putting course. Lakeland engaged golf design consultants to determine the optimum solution for the continuation of golf at the resort, and this design satisfied their needs. The first finding concerns the impact of the par 3 course's lighting and music installations. The par 3 course will be fully lit for golfing from dusk to midnight, 7 days a week from the spring through the fall. The par 3 course lighting concept is in your packet, and it shows approximately 16 lighting towers with multiple fixtures. On the lighting company's website, they identified a similar project in South Carolina that contained 99 fixtures to light a par 3 course. The number of actual fixtures, the height of the poles, and specific details of the lighting plan have not been submitted to the city to date. This issue is dealt with in finding number 3. The staff's finding on this matter is that the lighting on the par 3 course may be visible to homes across the lake in the town of Delavan. The additional lighting and music at the golf course will not result in a depreciation of residential property or create a deterrent to the development of vacant land in the city of Delavan. At the Plan Commission meeting, staff noted that the finding was subjective and that the staff did not have a quantifiable method to come to the finding. The finding also did not include specific consideration concerning the contiguous single-family housing recently approved for the Lake Lawn property southwest side. You will see in your packet that the applicant has provided pictures of lighting at similar projects that demonstrates the ground bleed of the lighting satisfies the City of Delavan ordinance for exterior lighting standards 133707. Additionally, the PIP list of conditions requires the applicant to adhere to the standards in the ordinance. You should also be aware that there has been no review of a technical lighting plan for this outdoor section. So the finding is built on a staff judgment based on our existing ordinance that may or may not be sufficient in this setting. My note today included 2 additional pictures of larger sections of a project which the applicant included in their materials and your packet. These pictures give a broader perspective of the course when it's lit. The best analogous installation might be that of a well-shielded lighting of a baseball or football field. Although the size of the course will be significantly larger than those examples, and the course will be lit nightly, not just during play. Those viewing the course from the lake or across the lake will see a significant lighting presence every night during the golf season until midnight. The second finding concerns the development's impact on primary environmental corridor, which runs along the lakeshore, wetland, and wooded areas at Lake Lawn. You will note in your packet, the applicant has plans for extensive tree removal, roughly 75 trees, and tree planting, 135 trees or shrubs throughout the project. There will be around 25 trees removed from the primary environmental corridor, with only a handful replaced. Additionally, according to the golf course plan review of the environmental corridor packet, but corridor impact also in your packet, 12 of the newly designed holes will include portions of the primary environmental corridor, which will effectively incorporate the woodland portion and the shoreline portion of the corridor into the golf course completely. The impact on the primary environmental corridor can be addressed in finding 4. The staff finding is the use is consistent with the purposes of the zoning code and general development plan zoning district. No additional zoning flexibilities are requested for the PIP. At the September 2nd Plan Commission meeting, staff identified their finding was based on a zoning code provision which permitted maintenance of a woodland area in a primary environmental corridor. Additionally, one could consider another portion of the zoning code in the City of Delavan Comprehensive Plan. The zoning code outlines in its purpose, 13105, that the zoning code's purpose is to implement the City of Delavan Comprehensive Plan. The City of Delavan's current comprehensive plan, written in 2021, in its natural resources section outlines as its first 2 policies, 1, utilize zoning, subdivision review, and official mapping authority to protect environmental corridors and significant environmental features within city limits and extraterritorial jurisdiction. And 2, preserve significant natural features by prohibiting new construction in mapped environmental corridors. This responsibility and prohibition of new construction in mapped environmental corridors was not considered in the staff finding. It should be noted that the City of Delavan zoning code does permit golf courses as a use in an ordinance identified woodland overland district. The area concerned here is a wooded and shoreline primary environmental corridor, which may be considered differently. I'm providing these supplemental statements to the findings to ensure the council is informed of all aspects of evaluating this PIP. Lake Lawn needs to find a solution to modernize its golf operation, and the Plan Commission voted largely to support that. There are impacts of that solution, however, and as these were shared prior to the Plan Commission vote, I wanted to ensure the information was shared with you. Thank you.
Thanks. Anyone else at this time wish to make? Yes.
Dave Sakaras, 551 Southwind Drive in Lake Geneva, and also had submitted the request for this project. I appreciate Mr. Armstrong's comments that he just made and to inform the council of what some of the findings were from the previous committees and commissions. So I just looked at his report that I saw today that was just submitted. And although there was a lot of information that's correct in there, there is a lot that is not correct. So I just want to clarify a couple of things as briefly as possible. One, there's a mention that the course would be lit from dusk to midnight, 7 days a week, spring through the fall, every day. And it says even, course will be lit nightly, not just during play. That's obviously, we're not gonna be paying electric bill if there's no play. If we don't have tea times that could go beyond 10 o'clock, we're not gonna have that area of the course lit. If it's raining, if the weather is poor, if it's too cold. This is mostly for the summertime of year to be able to get in extra leagues and have an extra unique feature that is not presented throughout the entire county for people to come and enjoy golf in the evenings. There was previous mention about the music, and I talked to the plan commission about this. It was referenced in a couple of things about amplified music. I wanted to clarify, amplified music means we're gonna have music playing from some rocks that we already have throughout the area. We're gonna have some speakers that are gonna be playing some music. It isn't something that is going to even disrupt the play. I think a question that occurred from the plan commission was, are people gonna be able to socialize and talk amongst themselves? Or are they gonna be drowned out by a loud volume of music? That's not the case at all. Many people know that when you go to shotguns and golf outings, there's announcements that are made on the speaker system, talking about the course and some of the rules. That in aspect would be louder than the music that would be playing on the course. The people that are looking to, or prospectively looking to purchase in the phase 4 with the house development, obviously would be very much aware of these plans that we're doing for the golf course. And the tendency is that most of the people that purchased homes down on the east side of the property by the marina are more interested in lake and boat activity. These individuals that would be purchased would be more interested in golf and in golf play. Some of the images that were submitted in the communication today said that these were sections that the applicant included. I've not seen these images before. They did not come from me. I did not submit these to the city, these two images. These images show a golf course that has wide open views with lots of land based on the location it is throughout the country. More of the diagrams that I tried to show as samples would be deflected by a number of trees and a number of different things in that surrounding area. In the environmental corridor, we're looking to remove the cart paths, have more vegetation. There's a miscounting of the trees in the environmental corridor. I included colored diagrams of the trees of what would be removed, what would be added. There is about 24 trees that would be removed in the corridor. I had explained in previous meetings that we have a number of these trees that are on the verge of falling down. They are dead trees. They are trees that is a hazard right now, and we've probably lost more trees than that just in the last year or two from storms that have come from the area. So we are replacing those trees in the environmental corridor with more than a handful. I just quickly counted in the audience here, and I see that we were replacing 14 trees in the corridor. Throughout the entire project of the golf course, it's over a 2-to-1 gain of trees that we would be adding versus trees that are being removed or relocated based on being in the middle of a new fairway. We've done a lot to try to accommodate the previous requests, and I've done a number of presentations in the previous commissions, including the access road for emergency vehicles. And the access road for emergency vehicles has to go through the environmental corridor for that to work. And it is the natural segregation between the par 3 and the regulation 9. The conditions that are in the packet that was approved by the plan commission, I'm certainly okay with all those conditions, and we have already started work on those. We received a letter from SHPO that has not been submitted to the city yet, authorizing the move of a majority of the area. And we just have one additional letter to receive from them on the putting area that's closer to the pro shop. So there's a number of things that we put in motion. Our goal was to start to work on this fall while Highway 50 is closed to through traffic. That is making a big impact on the business. As we all know, the businesses throughout that entire area. And we wanted to get a head start on this project. And so I've done everything possible to meet with the staff and address all their concerns. The only other unrelated agenda item that I wanted to speak to was the item of 7.5. And that refers to extending occupancy in hotels within the city for owners or managers up to a year. And I understand there's some challenges with some of the that has to be worked through with some of the other hotel owners in the city. I just wanted to address, as I brought up to other commissions, I think the wording would need to change before this is passed. It's a little generic with the terms of ownership. You're gonna run into some situations where you have LLCs which have multiple owners, and that could lead to multiple nights. There could be effect on room tax that's coming to the city, and a unique situation with a condo hotel. Lake Lawn has to have, or it currently has 222 of its rooms identified as individual owned condos under a hotel operation. And if this were to change under the current suggestion, that could create a giant trickle down of having those individual owners being able to stay in their condos, and we could have a complete problem that would exasperate the correction. So try to be as quick as possible. Thank you for your time. And if there is other questions that come up with agenda items relating to Lake Lawn or the development, we'd be happy to answer any of those.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak under public comments at this time? None, so we'll move on to item number 6, which are reports of committees, boards, and commissions. 6.1 is the Finance Committee and the financial report. Alderwoman Armstrong Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Finance Committee met on September 9th. A number of items from that meeting are on tonight's agenda. Our next regular meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, October 14th at 5:30 p.m. And our budget meetings will start. Our first one is scheduled for September 25th. And then we have 2 more, October 2nd and October 9th at 5:30. And with that, I move to approve the financial report.
There's a motion to approve the financial reports. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 6.2, general operations, Alderman Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor. General operations met September 4th. A number of items from the meeting are on tonight's agenda. The next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, October 7th at 5:30 p.m.
Thank you, Alderman Wilson. Item 6.3 is planning commission, Alderman Beazer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The planning commission met September 2nd. As you heard earlier, there's a number of items that are on the meeting for tonight's agenda. And the next meeting is scheduled for Monday, October 6th at 5 p.m. Minutes are on file with the city clerk for public inspection.
Thank you, Alderman Beazer. Item 6.4, public works, Alderman Beazer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Public Works met on August 26th. The next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, September 23rd at 5:30 p.m. The minutes are also on file for public inspection with the city clerk.
Thank you, Alderman Beazer. Item 6.5, town development lake committee, Mr. Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Town Delavan Lake Committee met September 3rd. Next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, October 1st at 6 p.m. at the Town Hall.
Thank you, Nick. Item 6.6, Library Board of Trustees, Alderwoman Sen.
Thank you, Mayor. The Library Board of Trustees met on August 21st. Our next meeting is scheduled for this Thursday, September 18th at 5:30.
Thank you, Alderwoman Sen. Item 6.7, Park and Recreation Commission, Alderwoman Armstrong Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Park and Recreation Commission met on August 25th. We discussed improvements to the Phoenix Park band shell area in the park over there to help with the band shell. And then we discussed our 2026 budget, including a request for a park and open space plan. Our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, September 22nd at 5:30 p.m.
Thank you, Alderwoman Armstrong Garcia. Item 6.8, Delbrook Golf Commission, Alderman Square.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Delbrook Golf Commission met August 18th at 5 p.m. We had two scheduled outings, Geneva Lake West. We had 180 people on 8/19, and the Scott Dorr Memorial, we had 250 people on 8/23. We're looking at capping our membership fees for the 2026 seasons with the renovations that's gonna be going on at Lake Lawn. Some of our staff have gone back to school. We need to hire 1 to 2 people to fill in for the remainder of the season. The irrigation breaks on one middle and one south has been replaced. The next meeting is October 20th at 5 p.m.
Thank you, Alderman Square. Item 6.9, Tourism Commission, Alderwoman Sen.
Thank you, Mayor. The Tourism Commission met September 8th. Our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, October 13th at 5 p.m. at 5:30.
Thank you, Alderwoman Sen. Item 6.10, Cemetery Committee, Alderwoman Sen.
Thank you. The Cemetery Committee met August 26th. Our next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, September 23rd, following the Public Works Committee meeting.
Thank you, Alderwoman Sen. Item number 7, issues that came before the Planning Commission. 7.1 is consider a resolution allowing a planned infill development step 4, precise implementation plan, PIP, at 2400 East Geneva Street, part of tax parcel XA 4985-1, located in the Manufacturing Light ML zoning district with a shoreline overlay to allow for outdoor commercial entertainment for changes to the golf course layout.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the proposed resolution granting one, the request for a planned infill development step 4 precise implementation plan, PIP, at 2400 East Geneva Street, part of tax parcel XA 4985-1, located in the Manufacturing Light ML zoning district with a shoreland overlay to allow for outdoor commercial entertainment for changes to the golf course layout. 2, precise implementation plan findings as listed in this report, and 3, conditions of approval as listed in this report and any added by the Plan Commission.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I will second it just so we can have conversation. I think that there's many of us that will need to, but that's the correct way to do this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. When there's a motion and a second, any further discussion at this time?
Yeah, I applaud you for coming up with some creative ideas. I remember Rain Tree Enterprises, I remember Bill Reader, everybody is one really up out there, and you guys have been creative, and I wish you good luck. I like the idea.
Any additional discussion?
I just have a couple things that I just wanted to ask. So the first would be, there is the option through that full period of time to play till midnight. So if you're booking until midnight, you do technically that whole period of time. If it's okay for you. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
I'll
Sorry, I should have. Unless you.
No.
That they could play till midnight.
Yes, it would be the lights off by 11:59.
Okay, when would the last tee time start?
Typically, they can play the par 3 in an hour and a half. So I would suspect maybe an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, prior to that. And so obviously, if there's no tee times past 10:30 or 11, then the lights would be out 11:15 or 11:30. But the latest, for instance, if we're talking about Saturday night, if we're talking about July 3rd, July 4th, if we have a big fundraiser that's gonna go later in the evening, this is a unique opportunity for that, because no one else has that. All the fundraisers for golf have to take place during the day or leagues, and this is an opportunity to expand that.
I just have one other question. So the development on the southwest side, you said that you think that most of those purchasers of those homes will be golf driven. Aren't half of those homes directly on the lake and maybe they are not interested in golf?
Certainly somebody purchasing near the lake wants to have the beautiful view of the lake. But individuals knowing that you're that close to a golf course and you're gonna have very easy access, you're buying in for a resort style environment. You're buying in to be able to walk down to the restaurant, be able to use the spot and use the golf. But obviously, a lot of this work of the golf development would already be in progress before earth movement for the residential development.
Will there be, I know you did the layout of all the trees and things, but like mature trees given along that line of like the houses to the golf course, just that will grow large over time to give them more of a barrier?
Absolutely, yeah, on the diagram, there's a number of trees that are added there
Mhm.
as a barrier point. And we're gonna have I mentioned this to the plan commission, we're gonna have an arborist that's gonna come out and look at these. So there could be slight little shifts, nothing to affect, unnecessary for another approval.
Sure.
But slight little shifts if you're working around a tree.
Yeah.
But there is certainly a large number that are in a bad situation that could be dangerous currently. And we've been kind of holding off to do this project all at once.
I also understand that the oak trees are, dying and I totally get that. And I understand that it's sad to see like big trees like that. Are there any trees that can be saved and that will be still left? I know like that are those large oak trees that like Lakeland is kind of like known for having.
You know
For the
what, I
golf course.
cry when one comes
Yeah.
down. I do, I get teary eyed because, I mean, we called it majestic oaks for a reason. As we want the golf course currently, because we wanted to identify as we got these large, beautiful trees. There is a number of them, I'm not saying, dozens and dozens, but there is a number of those large trees that are hollow inside. We spent a lot of money over the last 5 years of working with arborists and working with individuals that would do, is kind of beyond my knowledge, but do certain injections to try to extend the life. We had a number that disease came through with oak wilt and different things. So we're doing everything we can to keep those.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Steve. I understand that, you gotta do your job. What about the people across the lake? In Assembly Park, when those lights are off, and you got a lot of elderly people that. They're not up to 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night, some of these people go to bed at like 8, 9 o'clock. What's gonna happen with the lighting?
To answer that, we have parking lot areas that are right next to that, literally 50 feet away, parking lot for the lodge buildings. We do a number of lights that we have outside in front of the main lawn, out in front of the restaurant. For dining areas or having a wedding. I do not see this being any additional overflow than what those current lights set up are. And a number of those lights are up for the entire evening. On the diagram, there is the wetland area that is not being affected. And there is a number of high dedicated trees in there that are not being touched at all. That is directly between where those lights are and where the lake is. On the map that I submitted, we made a direct purpose of all the tee boxes on that par 3 of shooting away from the water. Because your lighting is behind you so that you can see the ball. The lighting isn't, at the green facing back to where the tee box is. So that is another way that we've done this to eliminate any overflow over to the lakeside.
Well, we're talking different lights. Now we're talking different lights than what you currently have. Correct.
The lights that I showcased were lights that have deflectors on them. That a number of the different parking lot lights are wide spectrum. These have deflector lights on them that are identified down to a specific hole in a specific area. Plus you have the green space and the trees that certainly absorb a lot more light than you would have asphalt for a parking lot.
Okay.
So we've done a lot of research to make this work, because last thing we want is to have an overflow and affect homeowners.
how visible, I'm sorry, how visible from like Highway 50 when you're driving by will these lights be like late in the evening? Like, is there gonna be bleed over, I guess, like the light pollution upwards versus downwards? Like, how much is this reflecting off the ground and?
In those areas, there's a number of trees,
Mhm.
and so obviously
Said that.
the lights are kind of below the trees too.
Mhm.
So the tops of these large oak trees also block a lot of that lighting. And that area where that par three is at a lower elevation than the Highway 50 area and even above by the clubhouse area.
And we have an ordinance for light pollution and it meets,
That is correct.
and it meets that.
Yes,
Cool.
yeah, and that's why I addressed that early, and it's also one of the conditions in here. That I'm obviously agreeing to, that it meets the standards of that light pollution.
I guess, Matt, would you mind just, or whoever was at the commission, shedding light a little bit more on the environmental corridor discussion, if there was more discussion about that area?
Sure, absolutely. So some of the highlights for the environmental corridor is, when Jackie went through it, she initially had some concerns regarding making sure that we had enough ample time, which is the reason why it got pushed off for another meeting. When it came back, staff identified that there was more than enough information that was now presented by Lake Lawn for this. When we talked about the environmental corridor and the impact that would have on the trees, it was pretty clear to me that if you're going to be bringing down trees that are already dangerous or trees that need to be removed and there's a cost associated with that, and you're going to plant more trees than you're bringing down. That to me seems to be a net positive. So the only real impact was whether or not the flow was going to disrupt anything in place and whether or not we had a discussion or a desire to look at restricting this on behalf of the planning of the comprehensive plan and what we had in place for the city. It's my opinion that we haven't hammered out those details within the comprehensive plan. And if we were to start to hold entities or decisions or anything else like that to the comprehensive plan without anything written down, that shoots the city in its foot. Because we need something to actually materially go off of, not just, this is what we're trying to accomplish. We have to actually do the work on that. That still hasn't been done. And in my opinion, we need to be doing that. So it didn't impact my decision personally during that. We talked about the light pollution quite a bit. And I know a bit about light pollution. My sister-in-law is an astronomer. She was facilitated a number of positions over at the Racine Astronomical Association. So I have some insight in terms of light pollution. I can tell you that concrete reflects more than any plant matter will ever do. Concrete from our streets reflects more light pollution because of the reflection coming up than lake lawns light will do. I mean, they're gonna be impacting the grass, they're gonna be impacting the trees, that's it. So it wasn't a major concern for me, and I felt that they answered all the questions adequately. In addition to that, I was one that raised the question regarding sound. I've been to a number of places that have had ambient sound in the background. And my concern was that if you're walking by, is it adding to the environment? Or is it detracting from it in some way? And the sound, as it was described, was no more than having a quiet conversation, just to listen into something that's going on in the background. Maybe some bird noises or something else that's happening, being an equivalent. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Identified that we have other locations throughout the property that does have sound around the buildings, just to add an additional ambiance and a feeling in a natural setting as you're walking between large buildings.
There is a motion and a second. Good discussion. Any additional discussion?
I guess I just wanna know, there's that one light that's estimated to kind of go into the lake, is that like? The one that's like on the corner where it actually hits the. I just wanna make sure I'm looking at this correctly. So on,
Yes, that would be new hole 6.
Mhm.
And that is the only one kind of based on location, because again, you're going from the tee box. And it was not identified with the height of those trees of what that would bleed over to. That would be the maximum bleed over there to that lake.
So it could be lower depending on like the,
The tree blocking.
yeah.
Absolutely, yep. And you can see then what I mentioned, just about every other hole, the little triangle area, that's the tee box. And so you're shooting away, and that's how that was designed, to be shooting away from the lake.
And just to clarify, that's the only section that's really lakefront. Most of it goes back into your property for this. Like, that's the only section that hits, like, where you really have that visual from the lake. The rest of it kind of goes behind the resort, correct? The rest of this diagram, so your resort, oh, I'm so sorry. So, like, right along,
So the parking lot area, you
Yeah.
can see the cars there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the parking lot, and the parking lot area goes kind of a little bit over that lighting legend.
yeah, behind the legend is where like your like rooms are, correct?
A lot of that
Like
is
some of
parking
those?
lot and
Okay,
rooms.
okay,
Yep,
thank you.
absolutely. And what's below this area is wetland area that's not being impacted by this. Any other additional questions for me? Thank you for your consideration.
Any other discussion? There is a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 7.2 is consider a 3-lot certified survey map, CSM land redivision request of the currently platted lot 1 of CSM 4985 being the Lake Lawn Resort property at 2400 East Geneva Street.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the proposed 3-lot CSM with the following revisions. 1, the public right of way along North Shore Drive either needs to include a public dedication of 14 feet or 14-foot wide pathway easement and a 56-foot building restriction along the entire frontage of North Shore Drive. 2, an accepted route for access easement to the lodges at Lake Lawn condominium properties must be provided.
In the motion, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 7.3 is consider a proposed 37-lot preliminary plat for the Harbor Club at Lake Lawn Phase 4 land division request within lot 2 of a proposed certified survey map at 2400 East Geneva Street.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve a preliminary plat for a 37-lot residential subdivision request and subject to state approvals as prepared by John Kornpecki, identified as job order number 1257.40 and revised August 25th, 2025.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 7.4 is considering 37-lot land or division request of a final plan for phase 4 of the Harbor Club and Lake Lawn phase 4 and lot 2 of a proposed certified survey map at 2400 East Geneva Street.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the final plat for a 37-lot residential subdivision request, subject to the building setbacks of 1 foot from each side and the front of each lot as shown on the plat, as prepared by John Kornpecki, identified as job order number 1257.40.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 7.5 is consider a request to consider zoning ordinance amendments to section 13-3-206 for parent M to allow for a number of rooms to have occupancy by an individual or family for up to 365 days per year. Commercial lodging items.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to deny the request to adopt an amendment to section 13-3-206, parent 4, parent M of the sub zoning code.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item number 8, issue that came before the finance committee, 8.1 is consider a quote to supply and install vibration dampeners on the 2 overhead mast arms of the East Geneva Street and Lakeside Boulevard traffic signals.
I move to approve the quote from Outdoor Lighting Construction at a total cost of $8,700 to supply and install vibration dampeners on the 2 overhead mast arms of the East Geneva Street and Lakeside Boulevard traffic signals.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
It's a good investment.
If there's no other discussion, we have a roll call.
Alderman Square,
Yes.
Alderwoman Armstrong Garcia.
Yes.
Alderwoman Sen.
Yes.
Alderman Wilson,
Yes.
Alderman Beezer,
Yes.
Alderwoman Barbarosa.
Yes.
Motion passes. Item 8.2 is consider a resolution declaring a surplus of multiple generators, pumps, and motors.
I move to approve the proposed resolution declaring as surplus for 500 GPM centrifugal pumps, 220 HP motors, and a Kohler 100 RZ generator, a Kohler inline 6 generator, and a Cummins large generator that are no longer used to the city.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 8.3 are approval of the bill.
I move to approve warrant 2025-08.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, sign. Motion passes. Item number 9, issues that came before the General Operations Committee. 9.1 is consider adopting an ordinance amending municipal code 10-1-22 to restrict on-street parking within cul-de-sacs.
Mayor, I'll move to approve the proposed ordinance amending on-street parking regulation to restrict parking within cul-de-sacs.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 9.2 is consider amending municipal code 6-2-1, removal of rubbish and dirt from sidewalks.
I'll move to approve the proposed change to municipal code statute 6.2.1 to add language regarding piles of grass clippings on city sidewalks.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 9.3 is considered changes to the required private driveway apron municipal code section.
Here, I'll move to approve the proposed ordinance amending municipal code statute 6-3-2 for private driveway approaches located within the public right of way to require a minimum of 6 inches of concrete pavement and a minimum of 2 inches of compact base, or a minimum of 3 inches of asphalt pavement on a minimum of 4 inch of compact base.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item number 10, other business. 10.1 is consider accepting the steel casing under Highway 50 from DLSB.
Mr. Mayor, I move to accept temporary ownership of the steel casing under Highway 50 from the Delavan Lake Sanitary District.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Mr. Mayor, just a quick point of clarification. As I understand it, that is just until the Highway 50 project starts. Is that right? Or is that something we're going to be carrying forward for a considerable period of time?
This would be eventually, the city will be taking ownership of the casing pipe that's under the highway that's currently owned by the sanitary district in order to get the sanitary district pipe removed, and keep the casing pipe for future reuse is a possibility.
So there's something that we might be able to salvage out of this and use for.
That is a potential, yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Lakeland will eventually pay to remove that, or
That is currently still under discussion on what we are planning to do with that casing pipe moving forward. There's some thoughts depending on what the development looks like across north of Highway 50 and what that pipe could possibly be used for. So there's more to come with that in the future.
All right, any other discussion? Otherwise, we do have a motion and
Just for clarification, it's not Lakeline, it's KSP Properties. So it's the land on the north side of the road.
Fair enough.
right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 10.2 is consider a temporary Class B beer license application for the Brew Walk, which is scheduled for October 18, 2025.
So I move to approve the temporary Class B license to allow for the American Legion to organize the Brew Walk to be held October 18th, 2025.
There's a motion and is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item number 11 are public comments. Again, citizens may address the chair at this point of the meeting. Just limit your comments once for more than 2 minutes, and I would just ask that you comment, state your name and address for the record.
My name is Monty Patel, coming from the hotel at the Delavan Suite. Can I hear?
yeah, you gotta get close.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Monty Patel. I'm coming from the hotel in Delavan Suite. I would like to know the reason why you guys denying the for not staying in the property.
During public comments, it's just your,
No, it's.
yeah, I should have maybe said this.
Because you know, we have only one LLC and we are just only one owner, not like multiple owner. So.
I was just gonna say that this is an opportunity for you to just share your comments. Unfortunately, we can't get into a back and forth during this time. But happy to address or answer questions after you. Thank you. Anyone else at this time wish to make public comments? And if not, we'll move on to item number 12, which are suggested future agenda items. Are there any suggested future agenda items at this time? Not, as always, just let myself or city administrator, city clerk know. I could put those on for future discussion. With that, we'll move on to item number 13, which is recess to close session pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.85 parent 1 parent C. Is there a motion, which is considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of a public employee, which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibilities regarding interim city administrators' compensation. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
I move to recess to closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.85 parent 1 parent C.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, may we have a roll call?
Alderwoman Armstrong Garcia.
Yes.
Alderwoman Sun.
Yes.
Alderman Wilson.
Yes.
Alderman Beasley.
Yes.
Alderwoman Barbosa. Yes. Alderman Square.
Yes. Motion passes. Take a brief recess. Is ready to go into closed session.
Yeah.